Tonight, a long-serving Port Lincoln SES member received statewide recognition in Adelaide, and 2 Northern Territorians arrested over allegedly trying to transport drugs and alcohol out of Port Augusta.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. A long-serving state emergency volunteer has been awarded a prestigious honour at Government House in Adelaide. Port Lincoln's Richard Davison receiving the Emergency Service Medal for his years of work in the service.
For 13 years, Richard Davison has volunteered with Port Lincoln State Emergency Service. Now his hard work is being recognised.
Still trying to process it and work it out, and I know Dad's pretty chuffed.
The humble father received the prestigious Order of Australia Medal in Adelaide this week for his work in the SES. The 56-year-old, along with close friends and family, attended a private function at Government House.
To get it unexpectedly that certainly takes you aback a little bit.
The senior Marine skipper was only meant to volunteer with the SES for 1 year, but more than a decade later, he's still working.
Not necessarily on the front line all of the time. My support work with volunteers and organising various training, particularly with some other units and so on, and support of volunteers. That's probably one of the main things.
And while it can be a rewarding job, it also has its emotional ends. Richard was the skipper of the rescue boat tasked with recovering 2 bodies who had drowned off Cape Carno in 2019.
It's a very sad occasion, and my heart really goes out to the family to lose 2 beautiful people like that. But to be able to have someone to at least put to rest is probably far better than never having anyone and always having those questions in your mind.
A small role which has enormous impact. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
New South Wales has recorded no new COVID cases today as health officials continue to scramble to find out how a strain of the virus escaped hotel quarantine. Despite South Australia's border remaining open to the eastern state, anyone who's been to a hotspot location in Sydney is now banned from entering the state. More than 13,000 tests have been conducted in New South Wales over the past 24 hours. More information on those hotspots can be found on the New South Wales Health website. Police are investigating another alleged business break-in at Broken Hill. It's understood the Hungry Jack's store was broken into during the early hours of last Friday. Around the same time, in a separate incident, the neighbouring Hocko's chicken shop was also allegedly robbed. Police have obtained CCTV from the store and are investigating whether the 2 incidents are connected. 2 people from the Northern Territory have been arrested after drugs and alcohol were intercepted in Port Augusta. Just after 11:30 on Wednesday night, patrols detected a vehicle travelling north on Victoria Parade exceeding the speed limit. Police say a strong smell of cannabis was coming from the vehicle, where they then located 340 grams of the drug and more than 100 litres of alcohol. It will be alleged the cannabis and alcohol were being taken to a remote community in the Northern Territory. A man and woman, both aged 44 and from the Territory, were arrested for trafficking in a controlled substance and transporting alcohol with intent to sell or supply in a prohibited area. Both were bailed to appear in court at a later date. Still to come tonight, floodplain harvesting reforms blocked in New South Wales Upper House, and an exciting air display makes its way over Broken Hill. Welcome back. Well, if you saw some smoke lingering around Port Lincoln today, it was due to a prescribed burn at Point Boston. The National Parks and Wildlife Service undertook a small burn on Crown land adjacent to the East Parade just after 9 this morning. The burn is part of a strategy to encourage natural regeneration of coastal vegetation and suppress pest species. Forecast wind saw most of the smoke drift over the ocean. The New South Wales Government's floodplain harvesting reforms have been blocked in the Upper House. The policy would have seen licences issued for irrigators to use water from floodplains during rain events. Crossbenchers, led by independent Justin Field, joining Labor to pass a disallowance motion yesterday, saying the proposed reforms lacked detail.
End of tributary and end of system targets established in the water sharing plans will go a long way to address the inevitable uncertainties with this type of reform.
Plans are now underway to establish an upper house inquiry to address the issue. Water Minister Melinda Pavey was contacted for comment. The Air Force Roulettes has put on a spectacular show in the skies above Broken Hill today, with 6 aerobatic aircraft arriving in town. Locals flocking to the airport to witness some breathtaking flying, but it's just a teaser for the main event tomorrow.
Leaving a trail of smoke and spectators spellbound. When the Air Force Roulettes arrive in town, it's hardly something you'd be able to miss.
We're going to be doing loops, barrel rolls, brakes, bomb bursts, hopefully draw a nice heart for you.
6 of these PC-21 aircraft will be calling Broken Hill home for the weekend. They can travel at almost 700 kilometres per hour and pull 6G in some manoeuvres.
The skills that you see us do for aerobatics and formation is something that we teach all military pilots.
The Roulettes are in town to mark Broken Hill High School's centenary, a birthday coincidentally shared.
This year actually we're celebrating 100 years of Air Force, so it coincides with the 100 years of Broken Hill School, so we've got that link as well.
Cars lining the airport fence for their landing today, cameras in hand for an arrival like no other.
Oh, he likes his planes, so we thought we'd just come and have a look at him. He thought they were good when they're in the air.
As impressive as those moves were, it was only a curtain raiser for the main event tomorrow.
At midday we'll be doing a flying display overhead the racecourse, and that's open to everyone to come along.
And when the team are flying as little as 3 metres apart, there's no room for error.
A lot of practice goes into it, and all the pilots have been flying for at least 10 years and have flying these aircraft for at least 3 to 4 years.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The gates were open today at the Port Augusta races, seeing the tradies hit the grounds for the second race of the season. Organisers say they're grateful to have patrons back on course after COVID-19 restrictions saw racing go ahead without spectators last year.
It was a day for the tradies, the boys in high vis hitting the racecourse for the second meet of the Port Augusta racing season.
On a Friday, some of the local trades groups to knock off early and it becomes a bit of a tradies day, and you can look around here and there's plenty of guys in bright colours.
The club president pleased to welcome patrons back to the course, making the most out of the upgraded facilities.
Obviously 2020 was a little bit indifferent, but it's great to see crowds here, and this is our only Friday meeting for the 2021 season.
For this horse trainer, travelling to Port Augusta from Gawler for the races is one of the highlights of his season.
Been coming here for a lot of years now, love Port Augusta. Love the people. It's a good getaway from the city.
He's been in the business for more than 30 years, with his love for the sport keeping him around.
You can bring a horse up here that's, probably not quite making it down south, and you can bring him here and win a race for the owners.
Meanwhile, it was a memorable day for another horse trainer, taking home the first win of the day.
It was his first win in about 4 years, so the owners that I've got associated with were quite happy to be involved.
The third race meet is one not to miss, with fashion set to be brought back to the field for the Pink Ladies race day.
It's great to see that when we do have those events that certainly people get out and enjoy it. Hopefully we can get a crowd over 2,000 people like we normally do. That'd be fantastic.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Taste buds tingle in Port Lincoln with a delicious festival coming this weekend. And a new fringe event set to take over Broken Hill's Main Street. Hello again. Port Lincoln's taste buds are set to be tantalised with flavours from the Philippines this weekend as part of a multicultural event. The special night's set to offer dinner and entertainment, showcasing the very best of the Asian country.
Cooking up a storm for a taste of Southeast Asia.
Authentic rural setting in the Philippines, a festival rural setting.
Port Lincoln's Multicultural Society busy preparing for tomorrow night's Taste of the Philippines. The cooks cutting, mixing and marinating, including making the sticky glaze for the traditional dish of adobo.
As they say, the 7 secret herbs and spices.
A melting pot of food and culture, the Taste of the Philippines is the second stop in the Multicultural Society's tour of the world. Last month, the group hosted a Taste of India.
So it is a question of which community who want to do and promote their own thing.
More than 110 tickets have already been sold, so you'll have to get in quick. And while the aroma of the food is tempting enough, it's not all about the cuisine, with traditional music, dancing and
karaoke. What is a Filipino culture without karaoke? We love to sing. Everybody loves to sing. All you needed is just give them a microphone and off you go.
and maybe a couple of cups of courage. Doors will open at the Curtin Point Bowling Club tomorrow night. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Plans are underway to launch a new fringe festival in Broken Hill. The event aiming to bring visitors into the CBD during the Mundi Mundi Bash, with businesses urged to get their stalls ready now and take advantage of the influx of travellers.
Soon, this won't be the only sound ringing out across Argent Street. Our CBD, the centrepiece for a new fringe event.
And that's about getting the artists and the street performers and our buskers into our main street.
Local performers encouraged to put their name forward to showcase our city when visitors for the Broken Hill Mundi Mundi Bash arrive in August. Entertainment and a visitor information centre to be opened in the town square, while the pop-up arboretum will be reinstalled at the art gallery.
It'll really be about activating the street up and down the street, but also encouraging those people to stay in the street longer.
The event in the CBD will run either side of the bash at Silverton. Council says it's a way to draw visitors into Broken Hill and spend their money in town.
If you've got over 9,000 extra cars coming through town, people in petrol barrels are going to have to think about their petrol tanks, and shops are going to have to think about restocking.
And although the bash is still more than 3 months away, businesses are being told to prepare now.
If we do it well and we work as a collective unit to be able to give visitors a really great experience, this will have impact for years to come.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Local musicians are gearing up to perform at the Amiwarra Downtown Guitar Festival in Port Augusta this month. They say they're looking forward to being able to take to the stage, showcasing their music after a tough COVID year.
For this budding musician, taking to the stage has never been on his agenda until now. Picking up the guitar during the COVID lockdown last year, leading to an invite to perform at the upcoming Amiwarra Downtown Guitar Festival.
I needed something else to do, and I thought, why not grab the guitar and try and pick out a few chords? And then I started singing a few songs, making videos and then putting them on Facebook.
Alwyn says he's looking forward to the opportunity, showcasing his musical talent to the community.
Just recently formed a band with a couple of younger relatives, and it's we call the band Woody Muthana, which in Adji Muthana means song people.
The group preparing to perform covers from the 1940s through to the 80s, and even an original song inspired during lockdown.
Called The Plan. It's to do with the COVID, and that was based upon being on Davenport last year and watching all the TV clips about the COVID.
The festival will also see the return of one familiar country music singer.
Yeah, I played in the first one, and then obviously last year was out, but they're returning again for this one. This time I'm doing a couple of shows. One is solo, and then I'm bringing my band up this year, which I can't wait for.
He says it will be an event not to be missed.
Us artists are just excited to get back and get into it as the spectators and supporters are, I guess.
They're encouraging the community to show their support and check out the upcoming festival.
Check out who's playing and where. Come down, support the artists, have a good time, have a dance, and make an enjoyable weekend.
The full program can be found online. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our footy experts will join us with their tips for weekend games. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. We're in for an exciting weekend of football, but let's hope the rain stays away for games set for across the region. Here's our top footy experts with their tips.
This weekend's round of football, no doubt the highlight will be North and West at Jubilee Oval. West have only lost one game for the year. This is a club that hasn't won an A-grade premiership for 30 years. They're on a mission in 2021. They'll be too strong, too quick, too polished for the Bulldogs. South travelled to Memorial Oval to take on Central. The Magpies last week only went down by 8 points. They're on the improve, but the Roos, they're still the best team in the competition. They should win.
Round 4 gets underway tonight at Bennett Oval, North Whyalla versus South Whyalla. We do like the way the Magpies are travelling this year, and I think North should get themselves another win. Saturday's game at Bennett Oval, a good clash between some of the top teams in Whyalla this year. Roona Bay versus Central Whyalla. They do look finals bound already, but I think the Roosters are going to be along their winning way again. And finally on Saturday at Memorial Oval, West Whyalla versus Rapina. Roos should put up a good show, but on their home ground, West Whyalla should be a little bit too strong.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of SGL football. Round 3 sees the return of Friday night footy with Port taking on Sollies. Sollies have hit the ground running after sitting out last year due to COVID. Port will be looking to bounce back after last week's loss to Central. I'm tipping Sollies to make it 3 from 3. On Saturday in Pirrie, it's the Lions who face West. The Lions were awesome last week, doing a number on reigning premiers South. West are yet to open their account this season and will find it tough going against a classy Lions outfit. I'm tipping the Lions. In Port Augusta, it's the table-topping Central who face the winless South. Central had to battle hard last week to overrun Port in the dying minutes of that match, while South will be looking to get their season back on track after back-to-back losses. I'm tipping South in this one.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips and round 3. We kick things off at Centenary Oval where Lincoln South are hosting Marble Range. Lincoln South got a comprehensive win last week, however I can't see them winning against Marble Range. They're the team to beat this year and I'm tipping them to win by 5 goals. In the next game, we've got Mallee Park hosting Waybacks. Mallee Park are undefeated so far, but Waybacks have been playing really good football. I think Waybacks will knock them off this week. I'm tipping them to win by 3 goals. In the final game, we've got Boston's hosting Tasmans at Paul Oval. Both teams are looking for their first win, and I think it might be a lucky day for Tasmans. I'm tipping Tasmans to win this one by 6 goals.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with wet conditions expected over the weekend. Here's Alex with more.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. Mainly fine conditions across the Gulf today, but unfortunately there are some showers on the way tomorrow. But some good news is in store for Mother's Day. More on that further through the bulletin. From 3 p.m. today, Whyalla partly cloudy and 26 degrees. Port Lincoln mostly sunny and 22, and Woodner reached 27 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta partly cloudy 26. Broken Hill was mostly sunny and 24 degrees. Port Pirie partly cloudy and 25. Kadina and Cleve both partly cloudy and 24. Mostly sunny in Clare, 23 degrees. Rain in Cooper Pedy, 27. Partly cloudy in Adelaide, 21 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, thick clouds stretching from the northwest into the south with a broad trough is generating showers and storms. High cloud skimming the southeast is not rain-bearing. Skies are clearer over the northeast corner with an area of high pressure ahead of the approaching trough. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. North to northwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas below 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre, but increasing to 1.5 later on. And a short time ago, there were no warnings current for South Australia. To the weekend forecast now, wet conditions across the Gulf on Saturday. Port Lincoln and Woodner both set to reach 21 degrees. Cleve set to reach a max of 19. Whyalla and Kadina both a shower or 2 and set to reach 21, and a possible shower in Port Augusta, 25 degrees there. A shower or 2 in Port Pirie, 23, similar conditions in Clare, 20, and Broken Hill is set to reach a high of 19 degrees. But conditions are clearing on Sunday for all the beautiful mums out there to be spoilt for Mother's Day. Partly cloudy conditions across the Gulf. Showers for Adelaide, Cooper Pedy and Port Augusta will have the region's top of 23, while 19 will be the region's low. Looking further ahead to next week's forecast now, those showers returning for most parts on Monday. Partly cloudy in Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill. Rain everywhere else. 23 will be the region's high, while 17 will be the region's low. And cloudy conditions across the Gulf on Tuesday with slightly cooler temperatures as well. Cooper Pedy will reach 20 degrees, a top of 17 in Whyalla, Kadina, Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Adelaide. Broken Hill will only get to a top of 15 degrees. And that's all in weather from me for tonight. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mums out there and a lovely weekend to all, including you, Ruby. Back to you.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Alex. Before we leave you tonight, if you haven't bought Mum flowers for Mother's Day this Sunday, a Port Augusta community charity group is selling floral arrangements, from baskets and bunches for Mum's special day to posies for graves to remember those who aren't with us anymore. The group has been running for the past 18 years, with all profits going back into the community.
We just raise the funds and all the money goes back to the charity, and off it goes to whoever someone recommends, somebody that might be, so that's what we do, yeah.
Residents are being encouraged to visit the group this weekend at the Pigeon Club building on the Stewart Highway, or stop by any of the 3 local cemeteries to pick their flowers. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening and we'll see you again on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Good night.